just getting ready for our event that we have on Sunday, February the 22nd. We are meeting live on Zoom. We do it once a month. So this Sunday, we're talking about relationships and soulmates and soul contracts and all that good stuff. So we are going live every day this week just to gear up for that. And our topic for today is relationships as mirrors, the relationships we have as mirrors to the relationship we have with ourselves. So I will open it up to the floor with that.
Who wants to start?
Y'all got that one. I'm gonna come up with the piggyback. Y'all start that off, buddy.
I'll start. I would say this. I say there's no surprises. I mean, whatever's on the outside reside on the inside, and that's the rule 101, number one rule of manifestation. So if you want to get the ideal relationship, you're going to have to learn how to have the ideal relationship with yourself first. Then you can bring that into your life. That's what I would say.
Right.
Yeah. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think that came up a little bit yesterday, actually, just briefly. But yeah, the outside reflects the inside, as per anything else. So when it comes to relationships, yeah, you got to have yourself kind of sorted out and know what you want, and before it'll even show up.
Yeah.
If you keep saying, I don't know, I don't even know what I want, or I don't know, or whatever, you're going to get that amalgamation of whatever it is in front of you. So yeah, in short, I feel like that's the main thing there. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you really think about it, it ain't even really a mirror, because it is more so the outside is a effect, not even just a reflection of the inside. It's an effect of the inside. So you want a certain type of relationship, you got to be that first, and that will cause that thing to come into being. So it is a mirror, but it's weird because it's like it's a one-way mirror. So the inside is really determining the outside. The outside doesn't determine shit. Like it doesn't matter, because whatever your outside is, it came from the inside first anyway. So I always thought about relationships, one, like, not so much what do I want, but who I can be in a relationship. And I think that's where it starts on the inside. So like, I think we as humans, because of the what we've been, the position we've placed in our forgetfulness, we don't understand that, like, we're here to be. We're not here to do, we're here to be. And if you be, everything that comes after, it'll match with what you are. So yeah, so like I say, it is a mirror, but I personally feel more like it's a one-way mirror. Like, the inside is what's reflecting to the outside. Outside means nothing. Outside is literally just the cause or the effect of what you dealt with on the inside, or how you dealt with your inside. So yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I think about that when I think about my relationship with how I parent as well. Because like today, my son asked me a question, and then halfway during me answering it, he just trailed off into another conversation about something with someone else. Like he turned me down and tuned them in, turned them up, and just left the conversation. No warning, no foresight, no nothing. And I said to him, you know what? When you did that, it just made me think, do I do that to you? And he was like, do what? And then I told him, and he was like, you don't, you really don't do that to me. It's just something I have to watch. And I was like, okay, well, I'd prefer you don't do that to me. It makes me feel like, what's the point in me teaching you anything or telling you anything or answering your questions? And then he was just like, no, I want you to answer. And I said, well, then, if you need me to shut the fuck up, then just say, Mum. Okay, that's right there. And he said to me, yeah, but I don't even remember how you ended the conversation. I said, that's my point. I didn't.
Yeah.
And he's like, thanks for letting me catch that. And then sometimes I realize, even though you see things that you could say, oh, that's a reflection of me, sometimes you are the mirror for someone else.
Mm.
And if depending on how you react to how someone's treated you, you can just stand there and be that mirror for them, and then you can move on, and they can move on, and that won't come up again.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So it also depends on how you're interacting with those things inside on the inside. Like, because then I said, Shem, where have you seen something come up and just addressed it? Like personally, like, oh wow, every time this happens to you, Shem, when do you just zone out and not listen? And I was like, oh, I've done that to myself before, a lot, many times. And then I was like, but I was compassionate. And I think that's why it ended like that on the outside as well. So where Corey says, yeah, it's like an internal mirror, just reflection, more type of thing. Yeah, I feel that. I really do.
I would say something about that. I think we came here to for a personal experience within a collective shared field. So it is true. At the same time, it's not fully true. I mean, you do have the collective consciousness. You have the thoughts that floats around. Now, what you have is free will. You can choose which ones you want to pick up or leave out. So every event that happened in the streets, i.e., say if you see a road accident happen right in front of you, you could say, well, wow, what's happening while I'm here? You don't have to be a part of it, or you could just observe what's taking place in front of you and don't necessarily think that has anything to see with you, because often is the ability to respond to a situation that matters the most, regardless if you do it yourself. Because let's say you could be a selfish person and then someone does something selfish to you, but you have the greater understanding because you know yourself enough to know that what they do is coming from maybe a place of scarcity or whatever that place may be. So I think that it's has more to see with the ability to respond to whatever's going on, rather than to say, well, bad things happen to me, that's because I'm bad. Because sometimes there's little thing to see with that. The issue with people most of the time, specifically with relationship, is when they want a great relationship and they realize it might not be so great, they have an issue with it bigger than observing themselves and see, you know what, I'll do the same thing. So the issue is it because you're experiencing that of which you do, or because you having difficulty to respond positively to whatever's taking place. So I think it's sometimes it is purely you, what you do, whatever the way you behave and who you're gonna attract in your life. Sometimes not fully. You can see that it's a collective consciousness and there's different applications from different people. So I think it's a bit of both. That's why maybe someone, because I can see if you say to someone, well, it's all you, it is only what's inside of you, that's why it is, they could have a hard time to understand that simply because they're like, I don't do that though. See this, I don't do that to you, like a bit what you said, you know. So I'm thinking that there's a mix of both, and sometimes you have to have enough discernment to know which it is, you know.
Well, yeah, and
So
it helps to stay in that casual observer role, as Corey puts it, throughout that process. Because if you can just observe it instead of taking everything personally or getting lost in a moment because something was brought up that would make an emotion flare up potentially, if you were to just stay lost in that moment, that'll help a lot too, right? Because maybe you are just, as Shem points out, you're just being that for somebody else in that moment, but it's also teaching you something about yourself too, because everything's kind of a teaching moment, right? There's something to learn in every moment or experience in every moment. So yeah, I think being that observer helps a lot.
Well, it's like you said, Almighty, how you react to it is what's going to determine what it is. You, again, it coming from you doesn't mean you get to determine what's coming from some other individual. If I can't, me and Blessed are friends, I can't make him be me. I wouldn't want him to, right? I want him to be him, right? So if you're
Be
going
kind of
into a
boring,
relationship,
wouldn't it?
right? That's kind of crazy if everybody was like me. It would not be a good place to be. So, so with that said, like the contrast between even souls is readily available here, and so all you can control is what you give out. But yes, how you react to what other people are giving out is is part of it. But that still comes from you too, because it's your reaction. It's how you deal with these things that are presented from you from another person. So
Right.
if I'm in a, like me and my wife, if she says something to me and I don't like, it's up to me to decide if I'm going to let that become something that's going to snowball into more of an argument than it really needed to be. Or I can say, you know what, that's how she feels. She's welcome to that feeling, and that's how she feels. And do my best to make her feel a different way, but ultimately, even her feelings is up to her. It's like, so at some point she
Right.
has to decide, hey, I'm gonna choose not to feel this way. Everything is a choice, and that's the great part about being in this experience, is that even though there is a collective conscious, like you said, Almighty, we still got a choice whether we want to feed into it or not. Like you don't have to. The collective, how I see it, the collective conscious really dictates higher things, but the individual personal things for you, you have very much a choice whether you want to be a part of it, whether you want to give your energy to it, whether you don't. And so I think as we get more into this topic on Sunday, I think that's going to kind of reveal itself that ultimately you still in control, whether it's somebody else doing something or not. Like your reaction is yours, the feelings are yours, the emotions are yours, and you get to choose how you want to display that. And so I love, I love the fact that now I don't have to point the finger at anything, nor do I have to worship anything, because I know it's all come from me.
Nothing to chase.
Nothing to chase. I don't have.
Yeah.
I'm in total control, and I'm not in control of what the event markers that take place in your life. Like you have an event marker, is we think is some big grandiose thing. No, event marker could be me and Bless got in an argument. That argument was supposed to happen before we even came here. Now
Right.
the question is, how do me and Bless react based on that argument?
Mm-hmm.
And do we move forward from there, or do we completely split and go our separate ways, and then that's fine too? So I love that. That's the great thing about being awake, is that you become the driver of your life, and you understand you don't have to do nothing you don't want to do. Like,
Right.
and so if you want that relationship to be great, then it's up to you to do it. Because you can't make somebody else do something. That's the great thing. That's the thing that's as true here as is true on the other side. You can't force a soul to do anything they don't want to do.
Mhm.
This
So
is a.
Yeah.
I'm happy you mentioned that about the idea of a event marker and having an argument with someone, and
yeah,
then this will be a this will determine the direction of that relationship,
correct.
because I think it's very nuanced. And I realized that by saying that, well, everything that's happened, your reality is all inside of you, da, 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 it is true, but then it lacks context, it lacks substance. And I think that when you say these things, the way you explained to just explained it, Corey, about this event marker, and then you have the ability to choose for yourself and decide
Yeah,
what type of reality. It's true, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that will swear down the relationship they're in right now, and that's why I wanted to bring up as well. It's not great. It's not the relationship they wanted for themselves, and they manifested it, la la la. Because I can see how they can say, "Well, maybe I was in a bad place, and that's what happened," or maybe your relationship's not so bad, but the way you reacted to it, because you're not in a good place, gives you
yeah,
this reality where it's suffering, misery, and etc. That's it's
right.
subtle, but it's a subtle difference,
Yeah,
and you got to be willing to operate that way,
correct.
because then you're going to manifest great things, and then you have a probability to respond to it, and everyone's going to be like, wow, you're silly because it's a great situation you got here, but
Yep.
yet you can't be
Yep.
happy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And we see that all the time. Like people go on social media and see people in relationships and relationship goals and all this foolishness, and not knowing all of the stuff that they got going on in their household that you never get to see. Like that's where social media has played the grand trick on everybody, is that everybody living these lives and you think they live a certain way, and then you don't really know that, because again, they're having their own experience. But Omani, you're absolutely right. That's the nuance. And even with the nuances, still all come back to you. So that's the crazy part, is that no matter how far you reach out, no matter any cracks or crevices you go into, it still all come back to you, because you got to react to it. You have to put you have to put your frequency somewhere. Energy isn't never destroyed. It only moves. So your energy got to go somewhere. So you get to choose where that energy is going to go based on your reaction to these things. And so you're right. Like people be in these relationships and they think, oh, it's so bad. Well, it's probably so bad because your energy is contributing to how bad it is.
Right.
Like,
yeah. It's,
whether you believe you're in a good relationship or a bad one, you're right.
Yeah. Well, and think of how many people, I don't know about you guys, but so many people I've ran into throughout my life that are just like, oh, don't ever get married, or don't ever have kids, or, they say those kinds of things. And, oh,
meanwhile,
my
they're
wife
married.
this, oh, my husband that. Yeah. Right. And yeah, married people doing that. Of course. And, right. Yeah. But they put all this focus on the negative, and all they're really saying over and over is, I've agreed to have an experience that I'm not worthy of having, basically. And that doesn't mean that the person's wrong for them, or that the children were the wrong move or right move or anything like that. It's just that that's all they're focused on. And that's all they're getting, to your point. Like, that's it. Like, okay, well, the universe isn't sitting there going, okay, well, are you sure about that decision? Do you want more of that? Are you sure? It's like, oh, you want more bad stuff? Okay, well, here, let me just shuffle more on there for you.
Let me
there you
give
go.
you more.
Absolutely.
So more of that. On your plate?
So
I love you brought that up, Bless. That's very true of people. I have heard that a lot, and I'm
bitter. Yes,
I've been aware not to be tone deaf about that, and I think that's also because when I got married, it was not what anyone at my age or in my crew or anybody that I really knew was even doing. The only last people who'd got married before me were like my parents' age, and other than that, everyone was like, okay, well, you're nuts. So it wasn't even like that. So when I used to speak, I used to be very wary not to put people off in any way, or put my experiences about how I'm feeling on them or what they may be doing. And I was also aware that when you complain about something in your life, you're advertising for the new to arrive. And I was like, I'm really not advertising for my husband to go nowhere. So guess what? I'm not going to do. I'm not going to put him up for advertising, because I don't want him to be sold somewhere else.
Correct.
So to speak, people cannot be sold, and I do not believe that. But it's just metaphorically, like, I'm like, nah.
You were going to have him on the curbside holding the sign, like,
right?
Wanamonde, free to a good home. No,
exactly. And I'm just like, I have a lot of the times I just had to. If there was ever a time I felt like this relationship is not relationshiping, I said, you know what, then maybe it's because this person deserves a better version of you, if you feel like you deserve a better version of that person.
Yes, sir.
So I literally had to reach into my own bag and be like, what's a better version of me?
Correct.
In this relationship. Like, if he is the better version that I feel like I need right now, or I deserve. Okay, because that's a big word, right?
Yeah, it is. People love deserve. They love
deserve. Then what am I doing to manifest that in my life?
Right.
And what does the person who I think I deserve.
Yeah.
What does his wife look like? What
Yeah.
does him like that look like? How does she move? How does she look after him? How does she speak
Yeah.
to him?
Yeah.
And then I would just start speaking to him like that, doing those things for him.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
2 twos, he appears like
Yeah.
that's who he is now. Are you giving
You're such a magician.
Yeah. I want Shem,
Alchemy 101.
right.
There
And
you
I
go.
want to add to what you just said, because I think the problem that people have with that, what you're doing, because I'm the same as you when it comes to that. I'm always gonna look at me and what could I do more of, right? The problem is people are doing that with the hopes that it would change their partner. And you can't do it that way. It can't be, I can't change me with the hopes that maybe it don't. Maybe
Yeah.
that person really ain't the person for you. And you need to be the best version of you to see that they not it, so you can go poop and go on your different route.
Right.
You got to be ready for that.
You got to be ready for either or.
Yeah.
And so when you go inside to change you, go inside to change you for you, not with the expectation that it's going to change your relationship or your partner. It's expecting it, but not disappointed if they don't reciprocate what it is that you do.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna add to what you just said, Corey, and I
Yeah.
think it's really relevant what you said.
Mhm.
You know, you can have, and it's really funny, you can have a relationship, you can have the perfect relationship, specifically at the
Mhm.
beginning, you think it's the perfect relationship,
Of course.
and yet find yourself 10, 15 years down the line and be like, I need to manifest myself a perfect relationship. So what's that tell you?
Yep.
Whatever feels perfect at a time
Time.
may not now feel perfect.
Correct.
So
Perfect
whether
can
you
be kind of a dirty word, can't it?
past,
Yeah.
You
and
think
then
perfect's a dirty
you
word?
never grow.
It
you never
can be.
really are.
It can be.
But my point is, I'm gonna say, are you obnoxious? How obnoxious it is to expect another soul to be anything but who they are.
Who they are.
Just so
Exactly.
it can be
That's it.
comfortable
Yes,
for
sir.
you, and you
Yes,
can
sir.
feel somewhat
Yes, sir.
to what you think now is perfect. That's why we often say, well, I'm done with this. I need more, and it's okay to want more, but you're
Yeah.
gonna have to do it on your own.
Yeah.
And then, like
Mhm.
Corey said, perhaps everything will fall into place perfectly,
Right.
and then everything will be great. But there's a possibility that as you do this, then you may pop,
Yeah.
or it might
Yep.
not, or it might look different,
Yeah.
where you might realize,
Yeah.
maybe
Mm.
the notion of perfect I have is distorted.
Maybe the notion of perfect I have isn't their notion of perfect.
Mhm.
Right.
And this
Yeah.
is what I'm saying. Like, we come enter in relationships saying, what can I get from the person? Or what do my expectations of the person? Rarely, and I'm speaking for me now, rarely have I ever went to a relationship saying, what all can I give to this relationship? Like, that's a first foremost, what can I give to it first? Like, I think my current wife, yes, that was probably the first time. And I was like damn near 40 when we got married. So it took years for me to get to that level of maturity in my soul, to be feeling like, well, it ain't so much about what she can do for me. Because to be quite honest, whatever you think one person can do for you, anybody can do for you. Like, if we being real, like, there's no love that somebody give you that somebody else can't give you that same love. You just ain't found that person just isn't the one doing it. It's the person you with. And so I'm glad you brought that up, bro. Like, and we're gonna get more into that at the event, because personally, I don't feel like you should ever come into any relationship as half. You're not two halves trying to make a whole.
Mhm.
You're two wholes incorporating yourself into a whole. And a lot of us need to do some soul work on our own before we get it, before we ask for these relationships.
Mhm. Well, yeah, it goes
So,
back
but
to.
we can
Can
go
I
more
suggest
deeper
something
down
then?
there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
About what you say, Corey? Can I suggest something? It's funny you mentioned that, because I changed my perspective even on that.
Oh,
Yeah.
first I'm
okay.
here.
Um, Let me
You
wait.
better
me
think
make you
very
wait.
carefully about your next word. Only one
No,
of
I'm
us
gonna
have
say-
our wife
no.
on this thing.
What?
I was like, oh,
This is not the round table.
Oh,
where
you're
you get
brave.
what red table, round table, whatever it's called.
Red
I don't know.
table.
No.
Whatever.
We
This is
good.
not that.
Go.
No, what I'm saying is this: is that I come to a point now where I realize that if you're always wait to heal yourself and
Mhm.
be the perfect this, try before you even get into something,
Mhm.
that only shows that you have a low ability to get into something and adapt.
Mhm.
So grow, expand, and it shows as well when you do that basically you have a bit of a negative connotation to everything you do, because you're thinking, well, if I'm not ready, that of course it's going to be an issue. It doesn't have to be. It really
Right.
doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
You don't have to be. So I'm just saying that
Yeah.
you might experience challenge, but it's part of the
Correct.
experience.
Correct.
The growth is part of the experience. You saw growth is part of the experience. So perhaps
Correct.
there's no mistake. Maybe you were not perfect.
It's
you were
not.
not where you felt, but that expansion you allowed yourself.
Yeah.
And the unconditional love you allow yourself to have for
Yes.
yourself first, which you'll be able to have for your partner, because you're growing. And no one's trying to talk about something egregious necessarily, but just
Correct.
about the fact that being willing to take that leap and see what happens.
Well, that's what I meant when I said that. So when I say that, I don't want you to take it like I'm saying you need to be perfect. When I say soul growth, it could be just that unconditional love that you're talking about. Do I love myself unconditionally?
Yeah.
Because I can't love you unconditionally till I love me unconditionally. It's just not gonna work. Like, because if I don't love me, it's no way I can love you with the veracity that you deserve to be loved, because I don't even feel that way about the soul that's walking around that I'm the body, the flesh suit. I don't think that way about none of that. So if I'm giving you that and I'm not giving that to myself, then what is that love really based off of? And when will it change? Because if I'm giving that to you and I don't have it for myself, the minute you do something I don't like, now the love starts to fade or change. So I guess when I say soul growth, I mean stuff like that. Like, am I at the point where I am? Because that's what we teach. That's the whole point of this event, is to teach people how to get themselves to a level where they can have these relationships, right? To manifest the relationship they want. So how do I even do that if I haven't even got to a point in my soul's growth where I know how to manifest? You see what I'm saying? I don't even understand how that works. So now I'm just jumping in relationships, hoping for the best, when I really could be the driver of the car and say, I know what I'm looking for because this is what I'm manifesting. And so I'm not going to accept anything other than that. And then once I get into that, it's going to have its ups and downs. I understand that because I understand frequencies. But ultimately, that's what I mean when I say not that you need to be perfect, because that's crazy.
Like, I guess
let me explain something to you. I ain't never gonna be that.
Well, maybe wholeness is kind of a way of just describing like
wholeness.
you got yourself put together,
Yes,
like you understand yourself,
you
but
understand,
you're not done growing. You're not perfect. You just
that's
got
more
yourself
so what
kind
I
of sorted out.
Yeah, that's more so what I meant.
What I'm referring as well is this: is are you willing to heal?
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because sometimes you getting in this relationship is the process.
It could be. You're right. You're absolutely right.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So if you always over, because yes, it can help sometimes to be in stillness and not be with anybody. I get it. But it could be also a hermit mode that don't benefit you. I give you the example of monks. Trying to isolate themselves for months and not talk, or trying to say, I'm not going to do this, that, because I can feel centered. But when you start doing these things, can you still be centered? Right. So never confronting yourself to these experiences as a result will not help you, because what you're saying is like, my healing process has to be only on my own. And sometimes it is not, because we activate each other.
That's true.
So that's also what I meant. So I understood what you meant, Corey.
Yeah.
Wasn't to take it out of context.
Oh, no,
I thought you meant it like that. But in actual fact, my realization was like, yeah, I could say to myself, wow, I need time to heal. But I've noticed that the isolation is not always the solution.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that's individual. If you think
Yeah.
about it,
That's
all this stuff
individual,
is
yeah.
individual. Because like
Yeah.
some people need that time to heal, some people don't. Some
Yeah.
people's healing comes within the relationships and the experience. Some people, I've done all of the above. Like this is what
Yeah.
my road has been all of that. You know what I mean? I was less intentional in the beginning, just having experiences and just learning more about me through my relationships. And then I became more intentional as I got older, and I was like, yeah, nah, I know what I like and what I don't like. So now I need to manifest, and now I learn and I know how to manifest. So now I'm gonna purposely manifest what I desire, right? So I think it's a combination of all that, Amandi. Like this is the crazy
Absolutely.
part about these conversations is because when you guys hear them, especially at the event, you're hearing all of us say different things that lead to the same outcome. Like
Right.
all of these roads lead to that same outcome, which is from our last event, manifestation. Like you are going to create it, and however that road looks, it doesn't matter. You're going to create the outcome you want.
Right.
And so, yeah, no, listen, I'm glad you brought that up because I really didn't think about that. But like, yeah, you're right. Some people need to be in a bad relationship or 2 or 3.
Right. It creates the
Or they-
contrast necessary
Yeah.
for them
For
to
have
figure
the
out what they
experience.
really want.
Yeah,
They
correct.
found out the stove's hot and they stopped touching the hot stove. You know?
Right. Or
So-
some people don't stop touching.
or sometimes they
keep
don't.
touching it. They keep touching it, touching it.
All right. I hate to end this conversation because it's getting really good, but we are going to be here every day this week around the same time, going live, leading up to the event on Sunday on the 22nd, where we are talking about relationships, going a lot deeper into all of these areas, touching stuff that we just don't have the time to do here today. So for those of you who want to join us, the link is in the in the description, right? You have up until Sunday morning to sign up. It's at 2 p.m. Eastern. It will be live on Zoom. And also those who just want to sponsor or support the event, we got a sponsorship link set up on the site. We put that link in the description as well. That just kind of helps keep this stuff running and, you know, keeping it good for everyone. So with that, anyone have any last words or?
Thank
Bring
you.
your notebooks.
Bring your notebooks.
Bring your notebooks.
Yeah.
Bring your
You will get a recording, so you can watch it as many times as you like afterwards. So yeah.
Thanks for everyone.
Yeah, I
the
appreciate
chat,
all the
as
support.
per usual.
Mhm.
You're also loving and supportive, and we do appreciate that your inputs. So have a beautiful day as well. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks everybody.
Bye.
See ya.
All right.